Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And I'm super excited. I hope you're excited because, as y'all know, it's championship week. You know what I'm saying? It's championship week. I hope y'all geared up and ready to get out to Tallahassee because we're going back to Tally, you know what I'm saying, as we talked about last week. And we about to get it started. We about to get into it. So I just want to let you guys know what we got on the show for today. You know what I'm saying? So excited for all the things we're going to discuss and talk about, man. Just to let you know, we're going to go through a game preview. You know what I'm saying? Talk about this big game coming up we got against PVAMU. You know, what we got to do to get home with a win, right? To get over this hump. 2 years ago, we wasn't able to do that. What can we do this year to get over the hump? We're gonna talk briefly about the all-tournament team for the volleyball team. Of course, they ended their season a little bit earlier than we was hoping for, but the ladies did a great job throughout this year. So we want to big up them. Also, we're gonna talk about some of the, questionable snubs. You know what I'm saying? All conference teams. You know, Twitter's been buzzing about that. Then we also gonna get into the men's and women's basketball teams too as well. But the first thing we're gonna do, man, we got a special guest this evening. Special guest. I know you guys have seen this guy putting in work from PV all the way to Kansas State, now up in Canada. I mean, listen, it's a world traveler. You know what I'm saying? It's a world traveler we got on the show today. And so today, man, I want you guys to give it up as we have a discussion, as we talk with this man, this bad man, Mr. Reggie Stubblefield. Man, y'all give it up for Mr. Reggie Stubblefield. What's going on, bro? What's good?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just, you know what I'm saying, just enjoying myself. Happy to have a chance to have a conversation with you this evening. And like I said earlier, you know what I mean? I know you're really, really in Canada because you got the coat on the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Got the coat on inside. Yeah, you know it's cold outside.
Listen, I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Toronto, right? And that's a different type of cold in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and listen, you close to the border, right? We ain't talking about some farther north that you can go to and even get colder.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
Nah,
man, just want to go ahead.
yeah, I was definitely saying that though. Yeah, I'm a little close to the border, so I get a bless a couple of times, but it's been bad out here. Something that I ain't used to. I got a little bit used to it at K-State, but nah, it's different in Canada.
Oh man, Kansas! It was like you was moving in that direction, getting prepared for. God knew, you know what I'm saying? He knew
God
he was
do.
getting you prepared for
God
what was
do.
coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, having you go out to Canada. But man, before we jump into it for real, man, I gotta know, how does it feel winning a championship? Because no matter what professional level you play on, right, you
Mm-hmm.
playing against other players who really done put in work, right? So what does
Mm-hmm.
it feel like to, in your first season, be able to win a Grey Cup for the Alouettes?
Yeah, it felt like a dream come true. And the reason why I say that is because at the beginning of the year, no matter what profession you're in, what level of ball you're playing, every team has that goal of wanting to win a championship. Teams just ain't talking about let's just go win 5 games. Let's just go get in the playoffs. At the end of the day, everybody has that goal in mind is to win a championship. So to get it done and be a helpful reason why we got it done and have it happen in my first year as a rookie on top of everything that I accomplished this year, like I said, dream come true.
Yeah, that's big. That's big, man. And he definitely was able to put in work. Obviously, he was the representative that your team, you know what I'm saying, looked at for the rookie of the year, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nod for the season. So obviously, you know, you were somebody that they definitely was leaning on throughout the year. But I want to go back now, right? You know what I'm saying, and build up to this point. Because I think when we look at, you know, your history and how you got there and your journey, I think it's super interesting just seeing it. You come from PV as an athlete that's come through here. But also for other people, as you look back, I think they can look at your story and really learn a lesson on really perseverance, right? You know what I'm saying, to continue to push through. So, you know, just first and foremost, right, when you talk about coming to PV, right? I know that I've seen you talk before, right? Having a conversation, also having Sam on your radar, right, during that time. What was it really that you saw when you came on campus that you said, man, PV is the place that I need to be at, right? With Coach Simmons, who was here at that time, right?
Yep.
What was it that you saw on campus? What you saw maybe in the coaching staff that said, man, PV is a place that I can be, that can grow me to a place to where I can be a professional athlete?
Mm-hmm. For me, it was just the potential that it had and the fact that it always resonated home for me. It felt like a family atmosphere, it felt like a family vibe. The campus felt well connected. So with the potential that they had going off of the year they had before, and I believe they was like 8-2, had a chance to get into the FCS playoffs. And then you factor in the fact that the stadium was going to get built. We had the resources to finally develop into a good team as far as getting a new weight room, getting a new locker room, having to practice on artificial turf instead of having to practice on the grass out there in the stadium. The potential was there. We had a great recruiting class, and I had a great relationship with my position coach, not only Coach Simmons. Brendan Sharp, I believe, who was now at Louisville, coaching the safeties.
Yeah.
Me and him and his relationship, man, it was great. It was top notch. And that was one of the reasons I definitely decided to go to PV over Sam Houston State.
Oh man, that's big. And I mean, at that time when you were coming out of high school, and I mean, obviously just listening to you talking some of the interviews, right? I can tell, right, man, your upbringing, you know, your mom, right? You know what I'm saying? She had you right. I know you talked about how she made sure you got them grades, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How much how much did, you know, your mom and maybe your other family members play as a part of that process of keeping you focused and saying, hey, let's not look at all the shiny lights, right? Let's look and focus on some of the things that you just mentioned there. Because a lot of athletes, they're not looking at those things that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a place where I can grow my talent. So, you know, how much of a factor were they, you know what I'm saying, in helping you to put your mind and your eyes on those things?
Yeah, my family played a big part in it, and then I think the biggest part was always just keeping me so grounded and focused on wanting to play football. My mama never put quit into my heart. She always made me a competitor, compete. I never was the guy early on that joined the best teams. I was always the guy to, you know, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So that just always kept me competitive. It always kept me competitive and always wanted me to figure out ways how I could become better or put myself in a better situation. So with my family harping on me, you know the importance of being an academic student or the importance of just being well mannered or having great GPAs or being able to talk professionally to people. man, it played a big part in my life. And you really don't realize how much your parents mean to you, or your family mean to you, until you really get to college and you surround yourself around different people from different atmospheres, or when you finally get to the professional level, you see why mama was right or why granny and auntie was right when they talked about what they did. Yeah. So, man, my family is a big blessing. They're a big reason why to this day I still play football.
Man, that's awesome, and that's big. And I think sometimes it's when we get to college, right, that we really recognize. I remember being at PV and it's like all the things my mom was saying to me when she woke me up in the morning, they just started hitting me at that time. Like, oh my goodness, like I understand what she was talking about. It'd be random times too. It'd be like, hey, that's what my mom was talking about. It's what I mean. But you're right. Some of those things that they share, and it's because they care for us, right? And it's good that we have our families there to take us throughout, to be with us throughout this journey, right, as we're growing.
Yeah.
And I know that as you was going through, this process, right, playing at PV, obviously you had the big year, 2017, right? You know what I'm saying? But then 2018, you had the injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, how was it then, if you can think back on that time of going through the process of rehab, right? And of being able to try to get back that next year, to get back on the field, especially coming off of such a big year, to where, when you thinking, I mean, most people think, man, the trajectory now, right, going into this next year as a junior, right, man, it's only on the way up, but then boom, you had an injury, right? Like, how was that process mentally, especially, right, to being able to keep pushing through to get back on the field?
Yeah, for me, having those good years as a freshman and then having a great year as a sophomore, only to go into, I believe it was 2018, when I missed the rest of the season. Not only was it because I needed to take care of my body, but I was also moving too fast at the time at PV to where I had gotten into a little bit of trouble too. So the fact that once I got into that situation and I realized, how important football was for me, how much I love it, being a kid coming into PV and wanting to change that program, wanting to change that culture, it kind of did put me into like a deep hole. And a lot of people saw that, but the biggest thing, and now I can look back on it, is that I'm so proud of the fact that the way I grinded my way out of it, be able to come back and that following year be all conference, playing only like 5 games, I think I did at that time when I came back, and then following up on having a great year after COVID and being able to now hit the transfer portal and go to a Power 5 school in Kansas State. I think, man, it's just the fact that I was persistent. I surrounded myself around people who was like-minded like me and who believed in me. And I just kept the main thing. Once you're a freshman at PV, you kind of go through some ups and downs. You're kind of trying to navigate your way through and figure out your lane. And for me, being a football player, I figured those things out. But at the time, too, you still got to focus every single day, no matter what classification you are in at PV, because your journey at PV can go any type of mileage, anyway. So for me, man, it's just being, like I said, consistent. And I just had perseverance, and I knew like, as long as I was breathing, I'd have a chance one day. Even if I had to grind my way back to earn a starting spot, or grind my way back up to get the acknowledgement and the credentials in that conference that I wanted to have, so I could succeed and reach my dreams of being a professional athlete, I knew I'd be able to reach that and do that. So that's what I did, man, and it was a blessing.
Man, that's big. Yeah, man, that's big. And one thing you said there, that I hope a lot of, either athletes now or people that's aspiring to be athletes is you not only had the family base, right, but then you start saying, man, you start surrounding yourself with other people that are like-minded and that wanted to get to a certain place, the same place you want to get to. A lot of times we miss out on that, the fact that, man, our circles are so important in helping us to get to what we need to on our journeys. And that's super big, man. I wanted to ask you on that too, because you talked about your journey, and before we talk about the Kansas State, what was it? When was it that you learned? Because now as a professional athlete, it's huge, right? It's a job, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to put in work, right? Not just on the field, not just with your body, right, but also in the film room. You know what I'm saying? When was it in your college process, right, that you learned like how important it was to do film study, or even was that before, right? But where was it in the process that you learned how important it was, and that it finally clicked to you, like, man, if I'm going to be the best that I need to be, right, I need to study. I need to put in work in the film room. And I asked it because I heard you in one interview talk about how when it comes to special teams, you was watching film and you saw something, right, that I believe it's Alabama State did, right, that allowed you to block one of the field goals during that season. So when did that click though? They're like, man, for me to be the best is not just what I do on the field or even in the weight room. It's also what I need to do in the film room.
For me, that's kind of funny because it happened at an early age, honestly. I could just remember Pee Wee, junior high ball, even high school, just always wanting to go watch more games or go try to look at people highlights, see what people do. And I think that was just the fact that I fell in love with the game of football, that I always wanted to learn more. So once I figured out that, oh, this is actually working, getting a head up or getting an extra step on somebody, I always just use that tool in my bag to where I'm going to watch film as much as I can. Because if I can learn what an opponent likes to do, what they like to scheme up, guys' favorite moves, skill sets, how coaches utilize them, I feel like my game is going to go to a whole nother level on top of me having the athletic ability and the talent to play football. So that's something I've always been having since a young age. And every coach that ever coached me knows that too. It's always important to be a student of the game.
Oh man, that's important, and it's good that you fell in love early, right? Because you're willing to put in that work, and I think that's a thing that we got to questions. And again, whether we talk about sports or whatever field you in out there, right? You know what I'm saying? Do you love that thing? Because if you love it, you're gonna be willing to put in the work to be the best at your craft, man. And I just want to show some of the stats. In during your time at PV, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
132 tackles, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 10 tackles for a loss, 19 pass breakups, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 blocks. Like you're all over the field, right? And I mean, you definitely remind people a lot of Tyrone Matthews. That's somebody who who stands out to you, or just somebody who's very versatile, right? Like you really can see him all over the field. Is that somebody that you modeled your game after, or was there some player that you looked at as you was kind of going through college that you say, man, this is a guy who I really watched a lot of film of because I saw how he played the position and I wanted to model some of those aspects?
Yeah, when it comes to a guy that I watched probably a lot of film of on a play style, I definitely would say Tom Matthew. And then people would always ask me, well, what's your comp? What's your favorite player? For me, I grew up an Eagles fan. I used to love Brian Dawkins' energy on the field. So that's kind of where the energy part of my game comes from. But then people ask about my position versatility. And for me, being a young kid, I used to grow up watching Charles Woodson a lot too. I used to see how he could go from corner, then at the end of his career go to safety, but also match up and cover guys inside the slots or whatever.
Good.
So he was so versatile in what he did. But Tom Matthew was that guy during the years where people really decide on if they want to play football or not. That's for me, high school and college. I was like, okay, yeah, Tom Matthew, he's making plays, and how is he utilizing himself and doing that? So I get that question a lot, but for me, it was always crazy because scouts would ask me, well, who do you compare yourself to? And I'm stuck because I want to say Tom Matthew, but the measurables aren't the same. He's 5'9", 185. I'm 6 foot, 195. So then they keep asking me, and I'm like, it's funny this year, a lot of guys on my team said your comparison is Buda Baker for the Cardinals. I'm like, you might be right, but
that's a good one. That's a good comp. Yeah,
I'm trying to find out a lot of
that's a good comp.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out a lot of those things.
Soon you're gonna be the measurable. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. That's the direction we heading in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this still interesting, but I think Buda Baker probably about 5'9", 5'11", hopefully. So I'm trying to find me a comparison still, man, because I done played a lot of things. I done did a lot of positions, and Tom Matthew though, man, most definitely very versatile and smart, very instinctive. I think that's where that comparison comes from. Yeah.
I think that's the thing, man. And I'm from Louisiana, right? So Tyrone obviously is a a legend, right? You know what I'm saying? Louisiana streets, man. But and obviously a lot of great corners and defensive backs have come through LSU, obviously. But that's definitely a great, great comp. I want to ask you too before we move over to your transition, right, to Kansas State. When you think back of your PV on the PV days, right? What were some of the things that stood out to you? You know what I'm saying? Being able to play right for both Coach Simmons and being able to play for Coach Dooley. You know what I'm saying? And being able to play right and rub shoulders, obviously, with Bubba McDowell, right, who's now the head coach at PV. You know what I'm saying? What really did you see from those coaches as you went through there, that maybe you say, man, I see why these coaches could have success even in the SWAC because of what you saw when you were playing there?
Now, most definitely, the biggest thing that I get from all of those coaches is just very similar. I believe that they're all consistent in their beliefs and what they need to have a successful program. For me, Coach Simeon, man, he believes in the hard work. He believes in brotherhood and the fact that we're going to show up every single day and compete with anybody, no matter who we're going against. Coach Dooley, and I think everybody sees this with him, is the fact that he's so confident. Like Coach Dooley's gonna tell you he could play Alabama right now. He's gonna score 70 points on them by halftime. So the fact that he instills that confidence in you is crazy, man. He does that throughout this whole team. And then with Bubba McDowell, man, is his faith and his belief in what he can do with what he has. As long as you can buy into his lessons, his teachings, and the things that he wants for the team, he's just so consistent in his faith and his belief that you want to run through a wall for him and you want to play for a guy for him, no matter if he's coaching the linebackers, DBs, if he's a DC or if he's your head coach. So those guys are very consistent in what they believe in. And then the reason why I believe they always have success is because they're just great coaches. They work really hard all around. Man, they know their cities, they know their states, they know the pipelines that they want to recruit in. And then the fact that, man, they just done it all. They've seen it all. They're just ultra competitive. So, man, I got a lot of love for all three of those coaches.
Man, that's big. That's big, man. And then obviously being able to play right and show your work right at PV, show the type of player you were. Obviously, then you had an opportunity it opened up for you to be able to go out to Kansas State. You know what I'm saying? How was it? What was the biggest thing, I guess, in your transition from Prairie View to Kansas State? What would you say was the biggest hurdle that you had to get over, or while you had to run through in your transition from playing at PV and the SWAC to be able to play on a Big 12 level at Kansas State?
Yeah, for me, one of the things that I first realized, especially at this time, it's not like I'm transferring or I'm getting to college and I'm just a freshman. I have a lot more experience on my hands. So being a redshirt senior, grad transfer at that time, the fact that you notice how much money plays a part into these colleges programs. So the fact that Kansas State is now able to have all 20 guys, 120 guys there for the summer workouts, is that it's going to bring more competition. It's going to be ultra competitive. Whereas PV, we're still trying to figure out ways just to have 30 guys there for the summer. So as I realized that and look back on that, those things played a big part and was one of the first things that I had to kind of realize and see that, okay, this money makes the thing go around. It's the reason why this thing is operating the way it is. So on that Big 12 level, that Power 5 level, you're able to attract more the better athletes on paper to compete and to play for these programs. And the thing that just interested me so much into Kansas State was at the time I was making that decision during COVID. So for them to have an established program going in as far as we know what our summer's going to look like, we know we're going to have a season in the fall, those were some uncertainties at the time during PV, as well as the fact that this is a chance for me to play on the Power 5 level, which every scout wanted to see. And the fact that I could get my name out there and just play on a bigger stage and show these guys that I'm a small school guy, but I can play on this level and I'm ready to take that next step. So those are some things, and man, those are the biggest things that I've seen.
Man, that's awesome, right? And I think that's a big thing that you're saying, and being able to say that you saw it right in person. You know what I mean? Like that's big, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like obviously that's something that from an outside looking in, a lot of people they know it, but you don't recognize it as much, right? But hearing it come from you, right, and seeing just in a small thing, talk about summer workouts, right, and how like we can't have a full allotment of our players here. Well, that's a big thing, right? And being able to help us to train, be able to help get our bodies where we want the bodies to be, right? So I mean, it just affects a lot, right? You know what I mean? And so it's big coming from you, and so now going through Kansas State, I mean, for me, looking back at that time with you going through transition, and like obviously, to me, the biggest game was the game against Texas, right? You know what I'm saying? But for you, I mean, what would you say, right, was your best memory from that Kansas State, time, that team that you were playing on? What was the biggest memory, from that time?
I think the biggest memories for me was our bowl game against LSU in Houston. And we played at NRG Stadium.
Yeah,
just
don't
for the
remind me of
fact to
that one.
help. Yeah, just to help them. My man, I know you from Louisiana. My man.
No, you good though. You good.
Just to go down there and compete against the LSU team and get that win. But it was the fact that it kind of summed up our whole season. They was coming off a 2-8 season during COVID, and they had a tough time. A lot of guys left that team into the portal. So for us to come together, build on top of the guys that they already had, but also add our transfer portal additions, and us to
Yeah.
become a family so quick. And the way that we did it was we worked our ass off every single day. Excuse my language, but man, it was a hard nosed working program, blue collar. Um, but it was a family atmosphere because of that community in Manhattan itself. They love Kansas State. They put so much pride into their athletes, into their program. So for us to just finish the way we did compared to where they had came from last season, man, it was just a testament of those coaches.
Right.
Just shows, the core values which they have in being disciplined, selfless, committed, and tough. Man, you can do anything that you want to as long as you have belief. So, yeah, I would definitely say that LSU game, man, just to be able to come back home in Texas, play in front of my family, play against friends from Prairie View A&M, and just to do that for my last college game,
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very special. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely have to say for that one.
Oh yeah, man, big game, big game. And I mean, during that time, right? Because I still remember, there was buzz, right, about what I'm saying, you getting your shot, right, at the league, right, NFL. You know what I mean? I know you had, I believe it was a Kansas City, right, that you was on there, on there trying to make that squad, right? You didn't make that squad. Then you go back, get signed by the XFL. I think you got dropped at the beginning of that new year.
Mm-hmm.
What was your mindset, right? Because, and that's why I talked about earlier, right? Your perseverance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you had this buzz, and I know you had a belief in yourself that, hey, I'm good enough to play in the NFL, right? You get the opportunity, but then you don't make it, right? You get signed with the XFL, but then before the season start, right, you're not being able to play. Where were
Yeah.
you right then, say in February, March, right, of 2022? Where was your mindset at that time in regards to your football career? And what was it that helped you to continue to persevere in believing that I'm going to get another shot, right, to play professionally?
Yeah. So for me, it was never the fact that it wasn't nothing that was talent causing me to get cut. Unfortunately, during the pre-draft process, I went undrafted, and that was majorly because of an injury that I had sustained during Kansas State that I played with, but finally got surgery after the bowl game. But we played one of the latest bowl games in January, but we had our pro day, the earliest out of our colleges in March, and it was the first week of March. So I didn't have enough time to fully recover and perform at my best. But I was blessed to still get a rookie minicamp invite to the Chiefs and the Vikings. But unfortunate, like we talked about, I was actually injured going into my first day at camp with the Chiefs. I caught an interception coming out the post, but at the end of the day, you're competing as a rookie minicamp tryout guy, and damage goods are no goods when you're in the business of the NFL. So, not being able to truly recover from that, I had to take some time off, and I was finally able to get picked up by the XFL. But I think that situation was just a little bit tough and sticky because the XFL was hosted in Arlington, and with me being a local guy, I just felt like during the time when we went through a winter storm out there in Arlington, a lot of guys that they were still trying to figure out if they wanted to bring in or not or give a chance to practice. They didn't get to practice because of the winter storm. So for me being a local guy, I guess they felt that it was easier to cut me because I'm only 5 minutes down the street from our practice facility and where we were staying at. So I just didn't like how they went about, so I just decided to take my talents up to the CFL. And a lot of
Gotcha.
guys from the XFL, they felt like I should have made that team. A lot of guys was mad, upset about it. But at the end of the day, those are some things that you just can't control. So if it's
Yeah.
something that I know I can't control, I'm not going to get mad about it or stress myself out about it because at the end of the day, I knew I had the talent to play on a professional level. I just need to be in the right situation.
That's
So
right. Uh-oh.
I
That's
took
big.
a, yeah, I took a big, deep research and making sure that this last stop that I was going to make in Canada was going to pay off. I made sure I talked to the general manager, the owner, the head coach, because they did reach out to me. They wanted to sign me, but I just wanted to make sure that it was the best move. And at the end of the day, I just persevered because I kept working out, I kept training, even if I got cut or not, because I knew in my mind, man, I could play professional football. This season, man, it summed it up for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's man. Listen, that's really big. How soon after you got cut by the XFL was it that you kind of started making your connections with the CFL, right? Because I think that season starts in the summer, right? Early like June, right?
Yeah,
So
I was cut the last day. The cut deadline for the XFL was probably about mid February 16th, something like that. I was called up by the Alouettes probably the next 2 days. So these
gotcha.
scouts, these coaches, man, they're always on it. They're always looking at players who's released, traded, whatever. And they called
I
me up
got
two
you.
days later, and a week later, I was signed, ready to go to Montreal by May.
I got you, man. And I mean that's so big, man. And just, when I think about your journey, right, what I'm saying, all these different points of perseverance, it just reminds me, right, that nothing that is worth it is gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And like I say, that's why I love these stories and situations because, for even other students that may be watching this and checking this out, man, maybe you're not trying to be a professional athlete, but whatever it is you're trying to do, right? Like you're trying to get your nursing degree, right? You're trying to go to medical school, like there's gonna be something along the journey that's gonna trip you up, and you just gotta keep pushing through and keep persevering because hey, I got the skills, I got the mind to be able to be a nurse or be able to be a doctor, right? Just as Reggie here is saying, like, man, I know I got the talent to be a professional athlete. Like
I've been
that's not
doing it
even a
my whole
question,
life. Been doing
right?
it
You know
your
what I'm
whole
saying?
life, man.
You just gotta persevere, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I know I appreciate you for just even coming on, right, to share that aspect of the story. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we only see the results, right? We only see, hey man, using training camp, you got cut, right? You went,
Yeah.
the Montreal let you go, and then you got back on the team, they brought you back. We don't see like even the mentality behind it, right? Why you continue to persevere, why you continue to work out. But knowing like, man, I knew what I was, right? And I knew the background, like, hey man, if I ain't got this injury, I know what I am, right? I know what
Yeah.
I did and what I can produce. So, that's really big, right? So us to help, to understand and have that mindset, man. And so, the last thing I wanted to, bring to you, man, there's a lot of people who come out the CFL, you know what I'm saying? And that is come to the NFL, right? Like there's loads of people who've done that. But obviously we know some big names, right? You know what I'm saying? Warren Moons, right? You know what I'm saying? You got Cameron Wake, more recently, right? Brandon Browner, you know what I'm saying? So obviously my boy Joe Horn, you know what I'm saying, with New Orleans, like you got so many players who come from the CFL and put in work in the NFL, right? So is that still something that you saying, man, my end goal still is to play professionally in the National Football League? Like, what's the mindset at this time, right? And how you trying to navigate that process? Because when I look at the schedule, it's always interesting. I'm like, man, June to November, even having those conversations, right? Like, because it's like it seems like you probably have to make certain decisions of whether you're going to go say take a shot, right, and go into a training camp in the NFL versus going back to like Montreal, for example, right? You know what I'm saying? So can you kind of give us some background into that and your thought process on that?
Yeah, so the way that works is the CFL has a partnership and a connection with the NFL to where once our season ends, there's a window to where these NFL teams can now reach out to CFL athletes. And I want to say it's in February to bring us in for NFL workouts for the upcoming season to sign to those teams for their 90-man roster to bring them into camp. So I actually got a whole lot of workouts lined up for this upcoming workout season. And I'm definitely going to reach and try to play on the highest level of football that I can while I can play football. Because at the end of the day, I know football's going to end. I ain't no telling when it's going to end, but I know one day I'm going to have to stop playing. And everybody wish we still can play sports, but we know that time is always ticking. So, man, for me, that's how it works. And I just know I'm blessed right now to be in the position that I am and have multiple teams calling me right now. So, it's
Man,
just a
that's a
blessing.
blessing. That's a blessing, man. I'm happy. I love your story, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see where you go. Listen, I'm gonna be hoping that New Orleans give you the call. You feel me? Because then I ain't got no pulls, no way. Just like yes, like this can just work perfectly together. You know what I mean? But wherever the Lord wills, like He knew you was going to Canada, He took you to Kansas City. He understands. He knows the best, right? You know what I'm saying? So I let Him do His work. You know what I mean? But I am still gonna be hoping. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That the Saints put that call in. You know what I'm saying? Because that jersey look really good, black and gold. You know what I'm saying?
Now, most definitely, yeah. I know God got a plan, but as I look back on this championship week that I just had, man, I always wanted to be as a kid, be an All-Pro, be Rookie of the Year, win the championship, and God had a different plan for me doing that out here in Montreal. So, man, I fully trust Him, and I just know at the end of the day, whatever He puts me in is for a reason. So I'm just make the most out of it.
Oh, for sure. And real quick, can you explain maybe a little bit what's the difference between, CFL, game and American football? I know it's probably it may be just a short time, right? Because I know the game is a little bit different, right? You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. To me, now that I have finally played it, watched it a whole lot more, it's better. The game of football is so much better. It's way safe and it's a lot more exciting. Just to give you like a couple of different things about the NFL and the CFL, there's only 3 downs instead of 4. There's 12 guys on the field on each side of the ball. The field is wider, and there's just so many different ways that you can earn points. And it's just better, man. I'm telling you, you gotta really watch these games.
I gotta check out some full. I gotta check out some full games. You know what I'm saying? So
man, you gotta go watch our game, Montreal Alouettes versus Toronto Argonauts, the playoff, the semifinal.
Okay, I'm gonna check out that game, man. I'm gonna watch the full game. I watch highlights, right? You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gotta watch the full game. Yeah, man. That's gonna be dope. And I know, man, we got a couple questions, maybe 3 more minutes and I'll let you go, man. But I know you talked about, one of your goals is, after you hang up the cleats, right, to go into coaching. You know what I'm saying? What kind of put you in that place to where you say, man, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? When I hang up my cleats, man, I want to come back and coach. And I know you talked about the college level and about on the NFL level, right? So what is it that kind of put that in your heart as something you want to do later on in life?
Yeah. I'm always blaming my coaches because they always said you're going to coach one day. And I don't know, they used to just be picking on me because of how smart I was or what I thought I knew or how well communicated, but also just being the leader and always being like a team captain on every team I played on. Maybe that's just something that they always just stuck in me. And I was like, you know what, maybe I am going to do it. But after having experiences of training kids in the summer and during that time when I was cut from the Chiefs and going back home being a high school coach at my former high school and being a teacher, I just fell in love with it. So just to have an opportunity to impact kids and give them the knowledge in the game that I know, that hopefully that they can reach those steps and goals that they want in life, man, I don't know. I love it every day. So if I love what I do, I know that's what I'm going to do and I'm going to work at it. So you're going to get no better than that.
That's big, man. Hey, man, listen, just let's keep this, keep this in your pocket, because whenever that time is ready, you can come back and coach the safety at PV, you know what I'm saying? And listen, we got a defensive coordinator position for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got that cool, but I'm gonna just keep putting it in the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? Don't forget about us. We here. You feel me?
Yeah, we're gonna keep playing football as long as we can right now, but
for sure. We talking about way down the line after the career's over. You know what I'm saying? After you soaked up all that knowledge, man. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of people on, man, telling you congrats, you know what I'm saying, on your year, man, and on being Rookie of the Year. Somebody said, man, are you gonna be at the SWAC championship game? I know you're in Montreal right now. I don't know if you made it down to Tallahassee.
December 12th to December 11th.
No, it's actually this weekend. It's the 2nd of December. So
man, I got a lot of interviews and stuff coming up.
Yeah, listen, man, this man out here working. Now we do got a question about your cousin because you know what I'm saying. I think somebody did see that. Is he in the portal?
Yeah, he in the portal right now. He's receiving a lot of Power 5 interest though, man.
Hey, listen, but we always gotta put our hat in the ring. You know what we gotta do. You feel me?
We got
we gotta do.
And I would love for him to actually experience that HBCU SWAC and just Prairie View in general. Like, not even just putting a title to teams, but just Prairie View. I would love for him to experience that. But, man, he's focused and he loves what he's doing.
Oh, for sure.
He's a 5 kid, but, yeah, he's looking to go P5.
So for you, right, who played now, you also played Power 5 level SWAC, right? You know what I'm saying? This is really the last question, but I'm interested in your thoughts, right, man? Like, what would be your pitch, right? If you were right in a position where you're a recruiting coordinator, right? You know what I'm saying, at PV, at a SWAC school, right? At PV, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your pitch to a Power 5 guy, right? That's now in the portal, right? You know what I'm saying? What's your pitch to them to say, man, listen, this will be a great place for you to continue to grow your career and a place that gives you an opportunity still to play on the next level?
Yeah, kind of just what Dooley, Bubba, and Simmons all preached to me, and that resonated to me in my life is the fact that the biggest thing that you can have when you decide to commit to a school is the relationship. If the relationship is truly there, nothing else really matters because all those things will come if God wants you to have those things. So the relationship and the fact that you have a coach that's willing to work with you every single day and not give up on you through the good or the bad and the growing pains that you may have, you can't beat that. Now, did I also find that at Kansas State? Yes, I did. So that's why I also went to Kansas State.
Right.
If I didn't find that at a TCU or a Texas Tech or Mississippi State when I was coming out of transfer portal, I wasn't going to go. It was times when I was actually thinking about coming back to Prairie View. So, man, just the fact that you can have those relationships, it beats nothing. Well, it beats everything.
That's big. I think that's important. Again, for all y'all who check this interview out, man, remember that, you know what I'm saying? It's about the relationships, right? No matter where you go, you know what I'm saying? Like, God's going to take you where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? If that's PV, man, of course, we're walking you open on. But wherever you going to go, right? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got the relationships there that's going to help you to go to the next level, right? Whether that's playing or whether that's somewhere in your life, right, in the industry you're going to be in, right? Just make sure you take care of that, man. Man, I appreciate you, Reggie. You know what I'm saying, for jumping on with us. You're a good interview, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, for real, man. I love your show. I love what you're doing, man. This was good. This was fire. I appreciate
it. Thank you, bro. Hey, listen, you welcome back anytime, man, because I know, man, you like 100 yards ahead of me when it comes to this game of football, man. So if you want to come back on at any time, maybe even next year, right, to maybe talk about some game stuff or whatever, listen, we can do it because, you know what I'm saying, the channels are here so that we can continue to grow the love of PV athletics, you know what I'm saying? Because, I know the more you have a fan base, right, that's really excited, right, really stands behind, the players, both former, right, and those that are here now, you know what I'm saying? It adds to that camaraderie, right, you know what I'm saying, and to what we build. And we have that, when we talk about, engineering and nursing, right? But we want to do that also with the athletic side of things too. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, man, y'all doing the right thing, bro. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, bro. Well, all right, man. We appreciate you. I'm gonna let you go because I know that you're gonna get some calls. Listen, hopefully, if you see a 504 number, make sure you pick that thing up. All right, you know what I'm saying? 504. That's at the top of the callback list. All right. All right, man. at that New Orleans, you feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? All right, bro. I'll holler at you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that was Mr. Reggie Stubblefield, you know what I'm saying, coming through, giving us an interview, man. He's been killing it, obviously, out there in Canada, man, Montreal. Y'all know it's cold for real, right? Because, man, he got the coat on the inside. Like, he ain't playing no games, okay? Like, it's cold. I don't know if y'all been out there, but that's how it is, man. So with that being said, man, we gonna jump into it, you know what I'm saying, and get into our, talk for the day, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna try to push through because I know we're about 45 minutes in already, but man, we had to do it, man, because that was an awesome interview with our guy there. So first and foremost, man, shout out to the women's volleyball team again. The year did end as we wanted it to end with a SWAC championship, but Coach Lindsay has these ladies pushing forward and moving in the direction of where you want a program moving in. And so we got 3 players who are on the all-tournament, all-conference team this year. Setter, Leah Lawson, you know what I'm saying, second team All-SWAC. Got Kylie Owens, first team All-SWAC. And also Janya Henderson, first team All-SWAC and freshman of the year, right? You know what I'm saying? So those 3 ladies, right, we want to definitely, shout them out for what they did, what they were able to do this year. And I know they're going to come back stronger than ever. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to be back again next year to be able to take it to another level. So we're super excited for what Coach Lindsay got going on. Shout out also to the alums who put up and raised some funds for them to get some blockers to use for practice. So that's definitely big, right? To have alums that's out here supporting the program like that. And so we definitely want to say a shout out to them as well. So let's get out into our 20 questions. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna kind of move a little swiftly through it, you know what I'm saying, since we had an interview earlier. And we're gonna get into the football. We got basketball as well today. So let's get into the 20 questions today, man. First and foremost, what happened to HBCUs supporting HBCUs in out-of-conference games? What happened to that? Right now, you know what I'm saying, we were doing well in the first half. Right now, we're down 81-63 against Tulane, right? You know what I'm saying? We were controlling that game all throughout the first half until about the last 5 minutes. Went to halftime down 5. Now we're down 18. But listen, we've been playing well out of conference. But I don't see the same love being showed, you know what I'm saying, for this Prairie View team as we're seeing for other teams. And I think, hey, if we're gonna show love for HBCU sports and out-of-conference wins, we need to do it across the board. You know what I mean? Why is not the same support across the board, right? You know what I'm saying? Number 2, who headed to Tallahassee, man? Because I know we got a couple buses, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to get out there, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody in all different places getting the bus together. I hope the student bus is full. I remember when we went to Birmingham, man. That was such an awesome opportunity, an awesome time. Man, I even remember us riding out to Atlanta for the Battle of the Bands, you know what I mean, with PV during that year. So, you know, those bus rides back in school, back in college were always awesome, always a great time. So I'm hoping, you know, the students really pack that thing out and going to get out there to Tallahassee. Number 3, are you shocked that HBCUs are playing so well in basketball out-of-conference games, right? Because not only PV, right? Jackson State, Norfolk State, right? Southern with a win over UNLV. Like we've been doing some good things when we talk about out-of-conference wins, HBCUs across the board, right? MEAC and SWAC. Is that something that's shocking to you guys? Is that something that you guys are like, hey, listen, we are very competitive, and now we're just being able to really show. We've finally been able to get over the humps and get multiple out-of-conference wins, which at the end of the day, this helps because, listen, if our conferences can win a lot of these out-of-conference games, get majors, that can help us down the line to be able to get out of that play-in game. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know, having to play in that play-in game where if you win, you got to play the 1 seed, puts us in a really bad position of where we have a chance to actually win some tournament games. And, you know, from the standpoint of also supporting the school, listen, the more games you win in the NCAA tournament is the more money you make too. So, you know, that's really big. You know what I'm saying? That's really big. Number 4, how can we get a charter bus company to sponsor PV Athletics? Because we're taking all these buses and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But who is giving money back to the university? Listen, all these buses, we need a sponsor. We need a sponsor with all these buses that we rent, all this money we shelling out. You know what I'm saying? So somebody needs to sponsor PV Athletics. So somebody needs to make that happen. Number 5, should the SWAC change from having the championship game on the campus to a neutral site? Should the game be changed? You know, we talk about right now being in Tallahassee, they're not in the best position to really handle this game, to be honest, right? And there's going to be many schools that will be put in a very similar position if the SWAC championship game was there. I mean, so should we move it to a neutral site? I really don't want it to move to a neutral site because I would like to host it before it goes back to a neutral site, in my personal opinion. But a neutral site, when you talk about the competitiveness too, right? Right now, we've had 5 games, and obviously, you know, it's all been won by the home team. But listen, that home field advantage comes into play when you talk about a championship game. So would it be better to have it at a neutral site versus having it at the home? You know what I'm saying? Said no neutral site. You know, so Mr. Jimmy said he don't think it's going back to neutral sites. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying from a competitive standpoint, you know, you really tip the scale, right, when it's not at a neutral site. Now, I like it in the sense of the funds and the money that a university can make, right? It's an extra revenue generator. I don't like it in the sense, though, that, again, from a standpoint of the football game itself and from the competitiveness, you know, you don't get it. But, yeah, this is my mindset, right? I'm like, let us host one before y'all change it back, if y'all do. I'm with you there. That's my thoughts. Number 6, how can a team with 3 out-of-conference wins in a row not be on the HBCU top 10 list? Does that make sense to y'all? Like, you make an HBCU top 10 list, and the team that's won the most out of conference games, and I'm not counting the D2 win. I'm only counting the mid-major wins. But they're not on the HBCU top 10 list. Come on, y'all. That don't make sense. Come on, man. We gotta fight for every bit of respect we get here. Said it's the dollars and TV exposure for the host. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely, the benefit of that. Q says no neutral site. We need to show off our campus and make money for athletics. Yeah. Listen, I want us to host a game first. Before they even change it back, I would want us to host one just at least one time. You know what I'm saying? Give us a chance to host one, right? So, and with all this stuff going on in Graham and Southern and Texas Southern, we might get that opportunity soon. All right, which running back are you leaning on more this game? CJ, Ahmad Antoine, or Jamarius Brooks? Obviously, Ahmad Antoine didn't play in the last game. CJ went out the last game. Connor Wisham obviously got knocked out that game, and he's not going to be playing. Who is the person you lean on this game? Listen, I'm with Jimmy. I'm leaning on CJ. Him and Jamarius Brooks had a good game. That second quarter, we were really gashing FAMU. And I really believe we can run the ball on this team. And CJ is a guy that's been here. CJ is a guy that's played FAMU, right? He was at Valley. He knows this team. He was gassed. We were gashing him in the second quarter. I think he's the guy who you brought over here, who won a chance to win championships. This is the guy that you lean on this game in order to get the job done. So obviously, we need to throw all these running backs at him. Jamarius Brooks, Ahmad Antoine, right, to switch it up. But CJ is the guy that needs to get the most carries this game, in my opinion, right? Number 8. You said my Antoine got to be a dog for us. Okay. Listen, everybody need to be a dog. The whole offensive line need to go get their respect, right? You know what I'm saying? This Saturday. Who has the most receiving yards this game against FAMU? Who do you think has the most receiving yards this game against FAMU? Brooks is the future, but CJ is 6 foot, 230 is a hammer. Yeah. Listen, that's a little bowling pin. That's a bowling pin, man. So, I think CJ is the guy you got to lean on for this game to get the tough yards. I'm looking at, Samar Savage didn't play last game. Megatron Jr., as I call him, he got to be the guy you go to over and over again. And, you know what I'm saying, I know we got the big play guys over the top with Spiller and, you know what I'm saying, and Bloomfield. And I think, they're going to get hit for one, maybe two. One of them is going to get a hit over the top, most likely, right? But the guy who needs to get multiple touches is Savage. That got to be the guy. If Savage gets going, that means we're rolling, right? And so I think Savage, needs to be that guy. Chris Herron, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the craziest thing, right, is we got so many weapons, y'all. We got so many weapons. I just wish this could be one game where we finally use all of the weapons we have. Everybody should touch the ball. Chris Herron. We got Bloomfield. We got Spiller. We got Savage. We even got Kobe Cavill, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we got so many weapons, on the outside. I just wish this would be a game where we actually spread the ball around and use everybody. And I'm not talking about throwing the ball 40 times, right? But I am talking about getting the ball into playmakers' hands so that they can actually make some plays out of the catch. We've been consistently good at doing that. If we look at all the film throughout this year, we've been great at making plays after the catch. But we just don't get the ball to our receivers enough, right? So it's up to you. Our tight end will lead in reception. If the tight end does lead us in receptions and yards, hopefully that means there's more than 1 or 2 catches. But, then we probably had a good game, right? Because that would obviously be part of the game plan that FAMU was not prepared for. Number 9, since the West is in coaching turmoil, could we possibly be getting ready to see PV dominate for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, is this the opportunity that we've been looking for? You know, Grambling. Listen, Grambling, Texas Southern have to make the right hire. There's no guarantee they're gonna make the right hire. One, they got a lot of hurdles they got to jump through right now. They got to make the right hire right now, and that hire that they make also has to find the right quarterback. Those are two things that got to happen. Now we got to find a quarterback. That's our. If we can find a quarterback, it's over for the next 2-3 years. But they got to not only make the right hire, they got to also find a quarterback, right? Which, as we've seen in the SWAC, is not an easy thing to do. So we could be in a position where it's us and Alcorn for SWAC West for the next 3 years. Like this is very interesting. This is getting really interesting. And so I really hope we take advantage. I really hope that we can make and bring in some guys during early signing period, during regular signing period, right? That's going to take and elevate us to the next level, right? But again, we'll talk about that in the future. But man, things are lining up for PV over the next 10 years to win SWAC West 6-7 times, win a SWAC championship 4 or 5 times. Like, it's lining up for us to be able to be in there year after year after year. You know what I'm saying? If we can just do some things right. Since we've been down there for 11 years, just never broke through for the SWAC championship. Well, that's what I mean, right? I mean us dominating the West, as in us getting to the SWAC championship game, winning the West over this next period of time, right? I'm saying we got there 2 times in 3 years, should have been 3 times in 3 years. Can we see over the next, say, decade, right, that we make the SWAC championship, 7 out of 10 years? That'd be very dominant. You know what I'm saying? And if we get there 7 times, you're going to win it. You're going to win it at some point. You know what I'm saying? So how much does a win against FAMU change the narrative of PV football? How much does a win against FAMU change the narrative of PV football? How much does that change the narrative, right? Because as Jimmy's saying, right, we got two West Division titles, right, in the last 3 years. But now we haven't won SWAC, right? Just like I know, just like you know, that we've not finished worse than 3rd in the last 23 years. So we've been a very dominant team. We've been a great team. We have the best winning percentage in that period of time in the SWAC. But what we haven't done is consistently won a SWAC championship. That's what's been the issue. We haven't broke through, won the West. We always finish second to the team that wins the West. We always either lose to Graham and then we don't win the West. Or we lost to Southern this year and didn't win the West. That's what's been our issue consistently. Had good teams, right? May have went 7-2. May have been, we may have been 6-1 in 7-1 in conference. May have been 6-2 in conference. And the only game we lost was to the team that actually won conference, right? But how does this help to change the narrative of pre-B football? You know what I'm saying? It said they will lose their mind. They will. Listen. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's what they say, right? You know what I'm saying? It would change tremendously. He said, prep for more hatred. Listen, I welcome it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. Number 11. What conference? I said they wouldn't be able to take us. Listen. You know what they be saying? They be saying, man, where all these other fans come from? Now y'all got 24 fans. That's what they be saying. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done doubled in fandom. Number 11. What conference would you want to do a home-and-home series with if the Pac-12 becomes defunct, right? Because we know that Pac-12 has had the series that they've been doing with the SWAC. What other conference would you like to do a home-and-home series with? You know what I'm saying? For us to be able to go to their gym, but also for them to come to our gym, right? I think this Pac-12 series has been awesome. It's made for some really competitive games, especially these games that we've been able to play in our home gyms. You know what I'm saying? In the SWAC, it's been great. What conference would you like to see for us to do a home-and-home series with? I know which one I want. It's the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, I don't know how much they would put Texas A&M on our schedule, right? Because we right up the road from each other. But I would love if we have an opportunity to get them to come back, right? You know what I'm saying? We got Baylor. Have Baylor actually come to the gym, right? TCU come to the gym. University of Houston come to the gym. We got all around us too. Oh man, that'd be great. You know what I'm saying? I would love the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Just with all the with everything in the general vicinity. I mean, you think about U of H going to Texas Southern. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? A&M going to Texas Southern. Baylor coming to PV. I don't know. With all this stuff just right here in this area right here, I think it'd be great to play against the Big 12. Jimmy says the SEC. But yeah, man, I think that'd be good. So, which defensive line has the most tackle for loss and sacks this game? Because you almost can say whatever defensive line plays the best is the team that's going to win this game. You know what I'm saying? Whichever one, yeah. And they would have to add us back. That's why I say if we got a home and home, and not only do they add us back, they playing us at home. Like they got to come here. That'd be great to me. But whatever defensive line plays the best, it's probably going to be the team that wins this game, right? Obviously, last game, we gave up more sacks than FAMU did, right? We really didn't get any pressure at all, right, on Musa majority of the game. The times we did get pressure is when we did see him a little rattled, right? We saw him throw a couple balls in the dirt, overthrows, right? So if we can generate more pressure on him, it's going to make for a way better game. But which defensive line do you think has the most tackles for loss and sacks this game? Again, my belief is that we're going to win this game. And we're going to win this game because, first and foremost, the front four, the front seven of this team has not been respected because of what the back end has not done, right? And obviously, early in the season, we gave up a lot of points, a lot of yards. And so we're still shown as one of the worst teams as far as yardage. But that front seven has done well and played well against the run. And when we talk about sacks and tackle for loss, they've been there, right? Have multiple players on this team who have put in work, talking about C.J. Presley, talking about a Davier Farrow, talking about Derek Gray, Jamal Marshall, right? We've got players, right, who should have been on the SWAC radar, and especially Derek Gray. But I think this front four is going to really show up this game. FAMU, their lines on both offense and defense have been talked about a lot. I think our defensive line is going to show up this game. You know what I'm saying? Do you think our All-SWAC selections were fair? We're going to talk about this a little bit later, right? You know what I'm saying? I think it was fair based on the numbers. But I do wish that the SWAC kind of changed up and switched up a little bit how they did things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say it's fair based on the numbers, and I get a little bit into that a little bit later, right? When we talk a little bit more straight about football. But did you hear that the 12th man will be in Bragg Memorial this weekend? You know what I'm saying? Did you know that they're going to be there? We'll be there, right? 12th man. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about crushing the dream of a Howard FAMU Celebration Bowl? Oh, I'm on a -100. I don't care at all. Matter of fact, I can't wait. I cannot wait until this game is over and everybody is upset because FAMU did not make the Celebration Bowl. I can't wait. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. Number 16. The 12th fan, man. 12th fan. All right. So how big of an impact will special teams have on this game? Obviously the game was far and away. I really think special teams is going to play a factor. I think special teams is going to play a bigger factor this game than it did in the last game. Obviously the game got away from us all in the second half, right? But I think, this defense is not going to play the same way it played last time. I think we're going to definitely see more opportunities for Juice, from a punt returner standpoint. Also, him as a kick returner. And again, he is one person who also feels, slighted you know what I'm saying, and kind of disrespected, right, because he didn't get that recognition as an all-SWAC returner. But I think, you know, special teams is going to play a factor in this game too, just like it did in that Alabama State game, right? You know what I mean? Because we do have some dynamic returnment. You know, obviously the last SWAC championship game we were in, big return after we go and score that touchdown. Big return by Jackson State. I mean, listen, we had all the momentum at that time. And that score was big, right? You know what I'm saying? Said very big impact. We just have to be disciplined, right? He said Willie gonna have some trick plays. So I think it's gonna be big. Number 17, right? Who has the bigger impact on this game? Keyshawn Johnson or Isaiah Major? Keyshawn Johnson or Isaiah Major? Who has the bigger impact on this game? Listen, I'm gonna have to go with Isaiah Major, because if Isaiah Major is all over the field like he normally is, if he is able to have free reign, we're not able to get up to, you know, the second level with our offensive line to be able to put some hands on him. This is going to be a long day, especially from an offensive standpoint and us running the ball. You know, we got to be able to neutralize him as much as possible. So I think his impact is going to be so big, so huge, because this is a guy who is a sure tackler, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we need to be able to get our hands on him, you know what I'm saying, in our trench play, and be able to allow, you know, Ahmad Antoine, CJ, Jamarius Brooks, right, to have a chance to roam. You know what I mean? So, and said Keyshawn got something to prove. Yeah, they both are big for the defenses, right? So, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think we need the most for Keyshawn to step up. But from an offensive standpoint of us producing, we got to produce on offense. And if we can produce on offense, it's going to be a game, right? Number 18, do you consider this year a success now that we've made the SWAC championship game? Just asking from a right now standpoint, not from a result standpoint, but do you think that this year is a successful year right now? Would you consider this year a successful year for us making the SWAC championship game? Elvin says yes, only year 2, 6-5 record, winning the SWAC West. Yes, but not completed. Hey, listen, we'll all feel a lot better if they win the SWAC championship game, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we'll probably have to revisit this question maybe 3 weeks out, right, after this game. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't have a happy result, then we ain't going to be clear-minded to actually answer the question with clarity. You know, since we're going to have to let some time go by, right? But, you know, listen, with the trajectory of where the SWAC is going, like I said, with the coaching changes, we're positioned very well. And so at the end of the day, I always say, you can't win the game if you're not in the game. So for us being able to come back now 2 out of 3 years and have a chance to win the SWAC, you got to be in the game to win the game, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? All script, yeah, all 15 of us here. You know what I'm saying? We in this thing. You know what I'm saying? We in this thing. Which team do you got running for more yards? I think last game PVAMU was at 180. We were at that in that 130 range. If we win this game, like this is the game we're gonna have to put in work on. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to put in work up front. Like I said, we had a really good second quarter. Second quarter, I think we ran for 71 yards in that second quarter, right? 47 yards for CJ, 33 yards for 74 yards, right? 33 yards for Jamarius Brooks, right? So that second quarter is when we started gashing them. We were in the game, like I said, 14-7, with 53 seconds left until we throw that interception. Which team you think we're going to run? Now, obviously, it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be a little rainy. Like I said, the last time we won a SWAC championship, 2009, I was there when it was raining and cold. You feel me? So it's looking like we're going to get this thing done. But I really believe this game. Now, the question is really going to be the passing game. Like that's what it's going to come down to, I believe, this game. I think our front seven is going to take care of business. I don't think FAMU is going to run for under 100 yards, right? But I do think we're going to run for more yards than FAMU this game, obviously, because this is something that we're going to really put our feet to the pedal right, and we're going to consistently continue to go back to the running game. So I think we're going to run for more yards than FAMU. But the real question is really going to be the passing game. How does that secondary on the back end, how do we play, against this wide receiver group? Are we going to be able to consistently get pressure up front on Jeremy Musa? That's really what it's going to be. Says it's going to be our type of weather. Yeah, man, I'm happy about the weather. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I'm happy about the weather. I thought he broke his arm. So is Wisham actually going to be back too? If Wisham is back, we got the full stable, right? You know what I'm saying? But the good thing's got Ahmad Antoine back. CJ, we got Jamarius Brooks, right? So we good. Obviously, we got Samar Savage, Megatron Jr. there. So that's going to be good. So last question. PV wins this game if they what? If they what? Yeah, we did an awesome job against Alabama State too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, listen, over the last month, this defense has not played the same. This defense has not played the same than they played early in the year, right? And so I got to tip my hat to the defense. And again, my issues, even when we're talking about the Houston Christian game, my real issues was them being undisciplined as far as these personal foul penalties. You know what I'm saying? And my other issue, right, was the issue of the offense not producing. But it wasn't on the defense. So even from the Houston Christian game all the way down, the defense has played well. Like the defense has played well. It's the offense that has given us issues. Matter of fact, we just found out. You look at the stats. This team in the last 2 years is 12-0 when they score over 20 points. Just think about that. We're 12-0 when we score over 20 points. If we score 20 or less, we're 0-10. That lets you know the issue is the offensive production. That's what we've been talking about all year. All year we've been talking about the production on the offensive side of the ball. At the end of the day, if you put your defense on the field over and over and over again, and against FAMU, against a team like this with the weapons they got, listen, you can only believe, right, that you're gonna get what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That was not over 20. And listen, every game, the last 2 years, we've lost every game where we haven't scored over 20 points. And so if we're going to win, we need the offense to produce. If the offense can just simply produce, if the offense can get on a board, obviously that means they're controlling the clock, right? That means that keeps the ball out of FAMU hand. That doesn't allow them to possess the ball throughout the game, right? That gives the defense time to rest. When we do that and we give the defense a chance, right, to collect their collective breaths, we're in the games. And we're 12-0 in those games, right? The question is going to come down to on the offensive end, right? Are we going to be able, you know what I'm saying, to put up some points, right? You know what I'm saying, to have some production. That's going to be the thing. You know what I mean? So I have to convert on third downs, no turnovers, make tackles. Yeah, listen, and third down, we in third and long. You go back again, look at that game too. My goodness, we're in third and long a lot. That's another problem, right? On first down, listen, we can't run left, run right on first down. Like, we got to make sure that we're not behind the sticks. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to have a chance, the 12th fan will be there. So listen, obviously, there's been conversation about all conference stubs. I want to just talk about 3 players. And like I say, I'm not really upset with the SWAC. I'm upset with PV. I'm upset with us, right? Because there's one player that I'm saying he's on the edge. I can understand you going one way or other. There's another player that I say, like, he's in the discussion. He don't have the numbers. But then there's another guy who actually got the numbers, but he ain't got the numbers because we ain't showing the numbers. And that's my problem, right? So when we talk about these 3 players, right? One, you talk about Juice, punt returner, right? Averaged 27 yards on kickoff returns. Obviously, we know that in plenty of games, teams just literally have stopped kicking him the ball. That's what it is, right? But that impacts the game. That impacts the game from a punting standpoint, from a kickoff standpoint, right? He impacts the game every time he touches the ball. I can understand them going with the guy from Alabama State, right? But he's in the discussion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not upset, but he's in the discussion, right? Again, people will talk about Keyshawn Johnson. I think Keyshawn Johnson just doesn't have the numbers. I talked about it earlier in the year. I think if he really wants to be up there, he has to average 9 tackles a game. And there's a couple games where he just wasn't there, right? And so his numbers, good numbers, but they aren't all SWAC numbers. When you look at a Rico Dozier or, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not, when you talk about what Bubba's done, right? Isaiah Majors, he's just not there, right? He needs to average around 9 tackles a game. You know what I'm saying? But now the guy that I'm really upset about, though, is Derek Gray Jr. He's been putting work in all year. All year. He should have been second team All-SWAC. This is my issue. And the issue is because of us. It's because he doesn't have 4 sacks. He has 8.5 sacks. This is my issue. But that ain't the SWAC fault. I can't blame the other coaches for that. I can't blame the other SIDs for that. I can blame Alcorn because they did a horrible job on the stats. I can blame their SID for that game because that was really bad. But listen, at some point we got to get our numbers together because this affects this individual, right? This affects us as a team. This affects us as a university. This affects a player who has an opportunity, right, to vie for a spot and for a position. Now, based on how the SWAC do things, I don't know if they're gonna give him no recognition at all. Anyway, but he should be there, and it should be a better argument to have, because the reality is he don't just have 4 sacks on the season. 8.5 sacks. You know what that puts him? That puts him second. That puts him second in the SWAC, and that's what he should have listed, because he actually has 8.5 sacks on the season, right? 38 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 3 QB hurries, a forced fumble, right? This is what he got on the year. And so we got to do a better job of making sure our numbers are right. Like, we can't blame nobody else for that. We can't blame nobody else for that but ourselves, because somebody here, somebody a part of our team here at PV got to make sure that the numbers are right, because this is an opportunity for him that he ain't gonna get back. He ain't got a chance to go back next year and go prove himself like Bubba did, who again got snubbed, right? But at least he had a chance to go back and show, like, really, I should have been a defensive player of the year last year. He had a chance to go back and show him, but Derek Gray ain't got a chance to go do that. He ain't got a chance to go do that. So I'm just saying, we gotta get our stuff together, right? Because all you gotta do is go back. The film is already there. You just gotta go back and see. It's right there, and it's a shame that a player has to vie, right? Has to push, has to petition to the SWAC for his own numbers. That's an issue. Like, somebody got to be able to be there, and I don't know if that's listen, they got to fall under the sports information director hat. Like, you got to be there to push and vie and make sure the numbers are right, because this is when it's an issue. So instead of us now having more than 2 players on all SWAC team, you know what I'm saying? We got a guy who at least should have been in the conversation, right? So that being said, man, let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we talk about 6-5. Obviously, got the SWAC championship game. Now the good thing about somebody feeling like they've been snubbed is, they go, put a little chip on their shoulder, right? You know what I'm saying? Like my man Juice say, I ain't come here for All-SWAC honors. I came here to win a championship. And that's what we about to do. You feel me? So let's talk about these keys to the game real quick. When you talk about on the offensive side, first and foremost, listen. Yeah, he had 3 turnovers last game, 3 interceptions. I keep saying it every single time we meet. We ain't won the turnover battle yet this year. We haven't won the turnover battle yet this year. Haven't won it yet this year. If it's any game we got to win the turnover battle, it got to be this game. You cannot turn the ball over. Can't turn the ball over, right? You cannot turn the ball over, right? That interception Conley threw in the second quarter, listen, the safety is over top of the receiver. You shouldn't even make that pass. And so this goes to my second point, which is, listen, take the underneath routes. Just get the ball in playmakers' hands. All season we've seen, if we get the ball in Savage hand, Megatron Jr., if we get the ball in Juice hands, if we get the ball to Kobe Cavill, right? Listen, they're able to produce after they catch the ball. Like, if we look at yards after catch on this team, yards after this catch on this team is major. It's amazing. The problem is we don't have enough receptions. And we talk about it all the time. If we could just be around 15 receptions a game, this team with this offense will look completely different, right? If we take the same route that FAMU is taking, take the same route that Grambling is taking, right? With the short passing game, just get the ball in your playmakers' hands and let them make plays. I just don't, it just makes me pull my hair out because it's like, bro, it's really so simple. So we got to take the underneath route. You know what I'm saying? We got to take the underneath routes. And then we talked about it already. We got to control the clock. We got to control the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? We got to control the line of scrimmage. If we can control the line of scrimmage and control the clock, this is where we can win this game. FAMU can't have the amount of possessions this game that they had last game. We got to control the clock and control the line of scrimmage from an offensive standpoint. Listen, but I haven't seen it all year of us have come out with special packages and are saying like, hey, we're going to get the ball in this person's hand. And that's been my issue from the offensive side, right? But I hope this game, we just need to put one game together. Listen, one game erases everything else. Because listen, in 5 years, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to say, oh, they were 6-5. Nobody's going to care about that. They're going to say they beat FAMU, a top 25 ranked team, for the championship. That's all they're going to say. Nobody's going to care about nothing else, right? So you have a chance to completely erase the 45-7 loss on Saturday. And I know they can do it because we got the talent to do it. We got the talent to beat FAMU and to play with FAMU. The question is us just being able to put a complete game together. That's the issue. On defense, number one, no chunk plays. No chunk plays. The same thing you made Alabama State do, the same thing you made Southern do, which is make them drive the length of the field, go on lengthy, long drives. Now, they have the ability to go on these lengthy, long drives, but don't give up chunk plays. That was the problem last game. It's too many chunk plays, right? And that was connected with the horrible tackling, right? I went back and counted 13 plays that FAMU had, we missed the tackle. Sharif's touchdown, that was a missed tackle, right? You know what I'm saying? The big tight end on that long 40, 50-yard passing play, when they're on their 7-yard line, I mean, he completely flips the field on that play. Our poor tackling, right? So that's on us. That's not on something special FAMU did. We just didn't complete our job in getting somebody to the ground. So sound tackling. I mean, that's a lot of missed tackles last game. That game we had a lot of missed tackles. It was just completely outrageous. And the last thing is we got to make FAMU one-dimensional. Listen, our issue is our pass defense. That is our issue, and that is a strength of FAMU. But at the end of the day, you gotta make it to where they can't do anything but put the ball in the air. You gotta put everything on Musa. You gotta put the whole game on him, on his shoulders. Because at the end of the day, they want to stay as balanced as possible. You know, FAMU is not trying to come out here and just simply, you know what I'm saying, they're not simply just trying to throw the ball all over the field, right? FAMU wants to run the ball, you know what I'm saying? They want to put the ball on the ground too. You see what they did against Texas Southern coming out in that second half? What they do? They came out and pound the ball right down their throat to come back and take control of the game. FAMU wants to do the same thing. They don't want to be one-dimensional. No, I mean, nobody wants to be one-dimensional. So you got to take away the running game. And again, this team, this defense, this front seven have showed that they can do that. Showing it against Alabama State, showed it against Southern, right? We can take away the running game completely, right? And make FAMU one-dimensional. That's what we got to do this game. And the question is really, are we going to have our DBs, are we going to have our safeties step up and make plays? Because at the end of the day, if you take away the running game, you're going to give them opportunities to be on the island. And are you going to step up and make plays? Are you going to step up and make plays? Yeah, Savage definitely has to have a great game. We got to give him the ball to have a great game, though. Listen, Conley can't complete 5 passes and we win this game. It's not going to happen. If he goes 5 for 11, we gonna lose this game. Like we're not trying to abandon the run, but he can't throw the ball 11 times and only have 5 completions. Because listen, the bulk of our playmakers are at wide out. You have so many playmakers out wide, and the reason the rest of the SWAC don't know them is just because we're not getting them the ball. This can be the one game that we actually get them the ball. I mean, if we just play a complete game, we're in this game and we're gonna win this game, right? And listen, this is why we're gonna win this game. These are the 5 things I'm looking at as like, this is not gonna be the same game as last game. And anybody that thinks that, they're tripping, right? Because again, if we go look at that game again, if you look at the game in the second quarter of the game, we are moving the ball. Conley throws that interception on the second drive of the second quarter, which would give us a chance to go down, at least put points on the board. Then he also throws an interception when we're down 14-7 at the end of we in the game. We're not in the game. We had 3 3-and-outs during that first half, right? The defense wasn't playing horrible yet until they just stop tackling everybody in the second half, right? But the reason we win this game is, one, we're gonna be available, we're gonna be healthy, right? Had offensive linemen out that game, starters out. We obviously had Ahmad Antoine not playing that game and lost 2 running backs in the midst of the game as well. We had 2 of our top 3 receivers that didn't play that game. Juice didn't play because of a concussion. Samar Savage was suspended for the game. So, I mean, listen, we're coming back with players who are key players for us, right? So that's big. So we got health and we got availability. The other thing is, listen, it is nowhere possible. We're not missing 13 tackles this game. It's not going to happen. And so some of those big plays that we saw from FAMU that really opened the game up, if we take those away and just actually make sound tackles, right? They would still been up at that time, but we're still in the game. It's still a game, right? We're not gonna miss those tackles, right? And give up the amount of yards after catch that we gave up in the first game. It's not gonna happen, all right? It's not gonna happen. Number 3, there was so many opportunities that we didn't take advantage of. Listen, first of all, we had one drive in the first quarter where we were moving the ball downfield as well, and we had a drop pass from, I believe it was Santal, right? You know what I'm saying? One of our backup receivers. But again, we missed multiple receivers, right? He wouldn't even been in that spot. But that was a big drop because on the next play, Conley gets sacked, and now we out of field goal range. Again, completely different game with the health and the availability we have, right? And taking advantage of those opportunities. I believe Conley has that same play back again. He just hits Jamarius Brooks instead of, I don't know who he was throwing the ball to, you know what I'm saying, on an interception. But I believe he just hits Jamarius Brooks. We take the 5 yards, 6 yards, whatever it be, right? And we keep that drive running, right? Because that second quarter, we were gashing that whole second quarter. We were moving the ball down the field. And so we've shown that we can move the ball on this team, right? The other thing is there was not a lot of pressure that we got on Jeremy Musa last game. And again, this D-line has been one of the best. They played some of the best ball over the last month of this season. Over the last month of this season, this D-line has been awesome, right? And I believe they're going to take that same play that you've seen over the last course of this month, and they're going to take it to Tallahassee this weekend. And especially after seeing, you know what I'm saying, my boy D-Ray get snubbed like that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Again, I mean, I'm not blaming the SWAC. I'm blaming us. But we're going to see improved D-line play, right? And again, we got our running back room and we got our O-line. You know what I'm saying? We got our complete assessment back, right? Got our starters back in the running back room. We got our starters back on the O-line. We're coming to play. And we have the talent to win. It's not that we don't got the talent. It's do we play sound ball? If we missing assignments, we give up chunk plays. There's no way we're gonna win this game. But if we just play sound ball right, we make tackles. If we keep the ball in front of us on the defensive side of the ball, make them drive long fields, we're gonna win this game. So players to watch, man, real quickly. Trezon, obviously, he gotta have more than 5 completions this game. Bro, give me 13, give me 14, give me 15, because that means that somebody touched the ball in the receiver room, and the bulk of our playmakers is in the receiver room. Chris Herron, Megatron, Juice, Spiller, Bloomfield, the bulk of our playmakers is in the receiver room. They gotta touch the ball. They gotta touch the ball this game, right? Juice, and I put him there based on the fact that I believe that just as the last game we saw, it's going to be big when you talk about what his special team is going to do this game. And I believe he's going to have at least one big special teams play that's going to help us to turn the field. And so, you got to watch him. The one Lewis on the backside as the anchor of this defense, you know what I'm saying, anchor of this secondary, he got to come to play. He got to come to play. He got to come. He got to be able to cover him. Freddie Bird on the outside, Terrell Coleman, like Tariq Moore, like they got to come right. Nobody can blow an assignment this game. Because listen, Rock is going to bring some blitzes, and he's going to continue to put this team on the island here and there throughout this game. Just as the ASU game, right? We up 14-0. You know what I mean? Freddie Bird misses an assignment. They go 75 yards for a touchdown. Tariq Moore takes a bad angle. They go 75 yards, right? Hey, listen, good call. You make a catch, you make the tackle, we good. I mean, they punting the ball back to us again. So that's on us, right? But we got to play sound ball. And up front, my man Derek Gray, because, listen, I think he's going to have him and C.J. Presley, the two names y'all going to hear throughout this game. Both of them are going to have a big game. It's not going to be the same as last time. The pressure's going to be turned up, and we're going to see if Jeremy Musa is really that guy. Because I believe we're going to stop the run, and I believe we're going to put everything on Jeremy Musa's shoulders. And listen, I think they're gonna rack up some yards. I don't think the issue is where they rack up yards, just as Alabama State rack up yards. They're going to move the ball through the air. But again, the same thing we've done, that bend don't break, right? As long as we don't give up big plays, as long as we have a chance, right, to get out the field on third down, we're in a good position, right? So we talk about FAMU, of course. You got the usuals, Jeremy Musa, Shareed, right? That guy's dangerous in open space, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Isaiah Majors, right? We got to be able to get up to the second level, be able to put hands on him so that he can't roam around. Anthony Dunn, I'm not sure if he's going to – I know he had kind of been nicked, but I got to guess that he's going to be coming to play this game, because if he has an opportunity to play the championship game, I'm sure he's going to be on the field, right? I don't know if it's anything major, but I knew he was nicked in the Florida Classic. But this guy, obviously, a big-time playmaker for them as well. Obviously, the last game you saw him getting in the backfield, which is why we got to go underneath, right, and get the ball out of Connolly's hands, not hold on to the ball. So, what's your score predictions? Drop your score predictions in the chat. Yeah, I saw that, but it's a championship game, man. If he can play, he gonna play, right? You know what I'm saying? So, drop your score predictions in the chat. Drop your score predictions in the chat. What do you think when this was gonna be? Drop your score predictions in the chat. Hey, our man KJ, he stood on business. You know what I'm saying? He knew what it was. 2009. We went and got it done. Listen, I was there in the rain. I keep saying I was there in the cold and the rain. And I think we get this done again. I think we get it done again. Got 24-21, 31-28. Woo, that's a lot of points on that Dark Cloud defense. You know what I'm saying? I got it 27-23. Listen, we 12-0 when we score over 20 points. 12-0 when we score over 20 points. We're going to score over 20 this game. We're going to score over 20 this game. 28-27. Ooh, that's a burner right there. But I think this is going to be a good game, y'all. This is going to be a good game. And I think a lot of people are not going to expect it to be a good game. But listen, I don't care what they expect. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like I said before, let me play my music. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter what they think or what they believe. You know what I'm saying? What matters is where we are. What up, Quack? What up, FAMU? It don't really matter what they think because we here. You know what I'm saying? We here. Yes, we scored 7 points last game. We scored 7 points last game. But what's the prediction this game? 27-23 PV. We're going to score over 20 points. We're 12-0 when we score over 20. We're going to score over 20 this game, right? Because no matter what people think or what they think this game going to be, people are marveling at this 45-7 game. Now, the good thing is, I know Coach Willie Simmons and I know FAMU team, they not paying mind at all to 45-7 because they know that don't matter at all, right? There's all these other people that's thinking about that because it's going to be a completely different game. And PV is going to win this game. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, I can't wait to make everybody mad. I can't wait for everybody to be upset. I can't wait for everybody to be like Willie gone Willie. I can't wait for everybody to be like, he blew another one. I can't wait for everybody to be like, you know what, Musa blew the game. I can't wait to hear people say, y'all didn't win the game. Florida A&M gave y'all the game. I can't wait to hear people say, man, Florida A&M beat themselves. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear people say, man, it was raining and it was wet. That's the only reason y'all got those turnovers. I can't wait. Because for me, you know what? It doesn't matter. When they bring the SWAC championship trophy over to Bubba McDowell, it's not going to be written there, you only got this because FAMU beat themselves. So if the trophy doesn't say that, I don't care what the reason is that you give for the loss. They lost. And all I'm going to do is say, what's up, Atlanta? What's up, Howard? We're here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I'm just saying. You think FAMU is overconfident? Some of the players, I believe, could be, right? But the coaching staff, and I think some of those main players there, right? I think they know what it is. You know what I'm saying, right? So I don't really expect FAMU to be caught off guard. Now, listen, FAMU has slow starts in general, so I can see them having a slow start. But, So let's get over to the basketball real quick. You know what I'm saying? So we can wrap this up. We're gonna speed through this, right? You know what I'm saying? We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes so far. PV women been 3-3 so far. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna brag. We're gonna brag different, all right. We're gonna brag way different. This is gonna be so lovely. This really gonna be. Let me go back. This gonna be so lovely. It's gonna be so lovely because FAMU hasn't lost a game at home in like 5 years. Playing at Bragg, but he don't lose. It's just gonna be great. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the energy never changes. The energy is gonna always stay the same because I can't wait. Anyway, let's keep going, right? You know what I'm saying? We'll talk to Mr. Brown, you know what I'm saying, next week if he comes on. You feel me? The women 3-3, you know what I'm saying? Win 101-44 against North American, lost to Washington State, and a loss to Incarnate Word. We talk about the win against North American. Obviously, it's a team at a lower level, right? You know what I'm saying? Ryan Payne, 18 points, Adriana Waddle, 13 and 7, and Maya Marola, 13. PV had, every player on the team scored this game, right? Of course, they went over 101 points. Outscored North American 58 to 26 points in the paint. And turnovers. Listen, even though they won this game, a lot of turnovers for PV, right? 24 turnovers in this game. And you can see that, you know what I'm saying? And you can see that, you know what I'm saying, in some of the other games too as well. Oh, for sure, bro. We appreciate you coming through. Listen, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Because if we lose, you just talk all you gonna talk. You feel me? But we're not gonna lose. So it's on the faces on people in FAMU. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be lovely. Listen, we just need to take a screenshot of everybody in the state. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? After everything's over. But listen, let's keep it going, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? 81-43 loss, 24 turnovers against North American. We see that rear its head again, 22 turnovers against Washington State, right? And another thing interesting, 0 fast break points in this game, only 6 points off of turnovers. So the Lady Panthers having a hard time being able to get the ball in the basket, right? You know what I'm saying? Having trouble really being able to deal with Washington. And, watching that game, Washington State was just literally so much bigger, you know what I'm saying, than us in this game, man. And they really controlled the boards, right? They really controlled us on defense. Of course, they had 4 players scoring double figure, right, led by Charlize Legger Walker, right, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Ryan Payne, again, 14 points. Jalen Smith with 8 and 6. But this really was not a game, you know what I'm saying, all the way through. It wasn't close. Now, the game was against the Incarnate Word. We're always kind of in that 8 to 10 range throughout. We couldn't really break through and really get back into this game. Desiree Lewis, 14 points, 4 rebounds, led us. And then Amari Williams had 6 points, 11 rebounds. So only one player in double figures. Chloe Storr, 20 points, 10 rebounds, the double-double. You know what I'm saying? This game had 12 also from Nina Negron, and also Georgia Elliott with 12 points. But listen, 3 of 6 from 3. She shot 50% from 3. And that really was the game, man. If you look, we lost the game by 13. We were 0 of 9 from 3, and they were 4 of 22. That's the 12 points right there, right? Also, Incarnate Word outscored us 19-9 in points off of turnovers. So listen, that 3-point shooting was really the tale of the tape in this game. You know what I'm saying? We lost the game by 13. They outscored us by 12 points from the 3 line. And so again, another bad shooting game by the Lady Panthers. And so that's one thing that they're going to have to figure out is how to be able to get the ball in the basket, especially in dry spells. They really got to figure out how to get to the cup, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially in times when shots outside aren't falling. Now, of course, the SWAC play, we're going to be playing teams that are a little more our size, right? Because Washington State was definitely a bigger team, but now this Incarnate Word team, though it's not as big as Washington State, we really just couldn't find the bottom of the basket at the end of the day, right? And so we end up losing this game by 13. Of course, want to watch the replay of the game? It's over on the PVAMU athletics page for you to check out. Now, let's talk about, no fast break points again, right? In that Incarnate Word, you know what I'm saying? And listen, that's what I'm saying, right? They turn the ball over so much, right? I didn't show it on this graphic, right? But 24 turnovers against Incarnate Word as well, right? So again, a lot of turnovers, something that we don't see from the men's side, right? and why they've been able to stay in a lot of games, right? So when you talk about the men's, right, of course, 78-66 win against UT Martin, 76-64 win against Eastern Kentucky. 2 big wins, 3 out-of-conference wins, right, against an ASUN team, a WAC team, right, and ASUN, WAC, and an OVC team, right? Being able to win 3 games against out-of-conference teams, mid-major teams, this is big, right? With the first WAC, HBCU to win 3 games out-of-conference against mid-major schools this year, mid-major and Power 5 combined. And so, listen, you know, the men's team is doing well. Obviously, they just dropped the game to Tulane. I didn't see what the end score was. I believe we dropped that around, I think we lost by like 18 points. Great first half. I mean, really controlled the game until the last 5 minutes where Tulane went up. The big thing for the men's team is we're going to have to figure out a way how to play as aggressive as we play, but not get in foul trouble, right? I think that's really the thing that we're going to have to figure out because the game against Seattle, the game against Tulane, the 2 things that I saw was we got in foul trouble, and then also Tulane and Seattle were able to shoot the ball much better than UT Martin and Eastern Kentucky. And that's really, I think, you know what I'm saying? I think that's really what did it in for us, right? So just the stats from this UT Martin game. Charles Smith, of course, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 18 and 14 from Brian Miles with a double-double playing big on the inside. And then Andre Nunley, right? You know what I'm saying? Started off the year coming off the bench, you know what I'm saying? Got some injuries, and now he's completely back in the starting lineup, right? 10 points, 10 rebounds, 6 steals on this game. And this is big. Listen, Andre Nunley is small. You feel me? So for him to be able to get in there and get 10 rebounds, that's big. That's being able to show he's able to go in there and bang. And that's great, right? Jordan Sears, 23 points, 5 rebounds for UT Martin. Issa Muhammad, 15 points, 13 rebounds with a double-double. And Jacob Cruz, 13 and 10. Now, we had 5 players in double figures. So obviously that was big. That means we was able to really spread the ball around. That's one thing I like about this team is we've been able to get scoring from different people, you know, different games. Also, we were able to shoot 46% from the floor and 36% from 3 this game. And so this was definitely a major difference. Again, the defense played very well on defense, right? Being able to get crack UT Martin, right, and also get some turnovers. Now, this game against Eastern Kentucky, the big thing was, again, it's another game we was in foul trouble. Another game we gave up a lot of free throws. But Eastern Kentucky shot very bad from the free throw line. 28% from 3, and then they shot 42%. We shot 42% from 3. They shot 28%, and also they shot 43% from the free throw line. I mean, literally, if they can just turn that to 80%, it's a whole different game, right? So, you know, really, Devontae Blanchard is really the only guy who really gave us trouble. 20 points, 11 rebounds from him. Charles Smith, 22 and 5. Chris Felix was awesome in this game, giving us 15, and also had a Nick Gonzalez sighting with 11 points for this game. But really, man, the free throw disparity was big. But again, we play aggressive. We're gonna put teams on the line. And if we go up against teams who can put the ball in the basket from 3 and also from the free throw line, you know, it's going to give us trouble, right? And I think that's the same thing we saw in the Tulane game, right? Was that like that gave us trouble because they are able to shoot from the outside. And listen, they're going to do pretty well at knocking down free throws. And we're going to be in foul trouble early. So that's one thing that I'm hoping that we can start to kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of quell. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can't keep putting teams on the free throw line. Now, with all that being said, before we get up out of here, man, listen, I got a problem with this poll. I don't care if it's a preseason poll, because first of all, we're like 4 weeks into the season now. So, you know, you can miss me with that. There ain't no point of having a preseason poll 4 weeks into the season. That's crazy. But we got a poll where we're not even on the poll. With 3 D1 wins, we're not even on the poll. With a coach that has won 3 SWAC championships in, 6 years? And we're not on the poll. Now, I understand. Listen, Texas Southern, even though they're 0-7, I can understand why Texas Southern, you still believe in them. Because, listen, Johnny Jones does his thing. That's never will have an issue with that. Because when it comes time for the playoffs, for the tournament, he's going to do his thing. But listen, after Johnny Jones, Byron Smith really should be next to him if you're talking about coaches. Listen, Johnny Jones is on the pedestal. They're number 1. But after that, listen, This guy, 3 SWAC championships, 3 SWAC regular season championships, 1 SWAC tournament championship. Come on, man. This guy has the pedigree as a coach to get the job done. And this team has been getting the job done. And yet the disrespect of us not being on the HBCU top 10 list is crazy to me, right? And especially when you consider that the PWIs have us listed and ranked as 16th in their small conference polls. It just don't make sense to me, right? And so I always say, I mean, this is the reason why we're here, right? This is the reason why I say, listen, like and subscribe. Because the reality is you got to have a place that's all your own. You got to have a place where you're not the side conversation, where you're not the side piece, you're the main dish. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody else going to do you like you do. You feel me? And so we got to advocate for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got to push back when we see foolishness like that because we need to grab our respect and demand our respect. And this team has been putting in work. Again, dropped the game against Tulane today. But listen, we're 4-3 with 3 D1 out of conference wins. And listen, let me go back to this poll. Because listen, 2 of these teams in this poll are teams that we beat. Come on, man. The 2 UT Martin and Eastern Kentucky are 2 teams that have listed in this small conference poll. And we beat both of those teams. So you can't say we don't beat anybody, right? You can't say we didn't beat anybody. So to not have us listed in the top 10, come on, man. That's just outrageous. That's just outrageous. What's good? What's good, my man? What's popping? It's popping, G. You know what I'm saying? It's popping, G. Man, we about to listen, FAMU, we about to hit them Saturday so hard, they may start doing Cherokee call or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't gonna know it yet. You feel me? So, but listen, man, we got to grab our respect. We got to demand our respect. And especially from us as HBCUs, we should be celebrating these out-of-conference wins that all of us are having, man. Uplifting it. Come on, man. So I want to see, you know, all of these posters, all of these people who got, you know, these different HBCU platforms. Like, listen, come on, show our men's team some respect for the work they've been putting in. You feel me? Show some respect for the work they've been putting in. But with that being said, man, listen, been a long show today. We talked a little bit of football. We had my man Reggie Stubblefield on. For y'all that didn't watch the interview, man, go check out the interview. That guy's great. He's going to be playing in the NFL next year, man. So go check out that interview. I'm going to definitely cut it up, you know what I'm saying, as a separate video on the page so you guys can check that out. You know what I mean? G Boom says, tell Offscript the 12th fan will be in Tallahassee. Let's go. We're going back to Tally. Hey, we're going back to Tally. So listen, we're getting it done. So make sure that you guys know what it is. And just to remind you again, so that y'all can do, make sure you screenshot and take a picture. Screenshot it, take a picture. 27-23. The Panthers come out with the win. My man Norvell, thank you for coming out and checking the show. Thank you for coming out and giving us, you know what I'm saying, your perspective, you know, letting us know it's going to be ugly. He thinks it's going to be ugly. He thinks it's going to be 45-7. But listen, I don't care what they say when it's over. I don't care if they say, fam, you beat theyself. I don't care if they say, oh, you got lucky. I don't care if they say, y'all borrowed the referees that be at Alcorn and brought them to FAMU. I don't care, because you know what's not going to be written on the trophy? Y'all cheated. No, it's not going to be. That ain't going to be on the trophy. You know what's not going to be on the trophy? It was raining that day, though. It ain't going to be on the trophy. You know what's not going to be on the trophy? FAMU beat themselves. That's not going to be on the trophy. You know what's going to be on the trophy? SWAC champions. SWAC champions. So I can't wait to disappoint everybody. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm so excited to disappoint everybody. I can't wait. So with that being said, we out of here, man. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all know what song I'm playing when it's all over. You know what I'm saying? Because they want it all for. They want it Southern. They want it Glamour. They want it Southern. You guys, what's happening? Are you haters? Can get at me. Listen, I hear you, and I'm watching. It's PV versus everybody. I'll see y'all later.